You wake up one morning, make your usual cup of coffee, and reach for a familiar brand of cereal you've eaten since childhood. But something is off. The name on the box isn't spelled the way you've always remembered. It's subtle, almost like a trick of the mind, but you're certain it was different before. You grab your phone, searching for proof, an old commercial, a past advertisement, but every trace of what you recall has vanished. The world insists it was never the way you remember. At first, you shrug it off, a glitch in memory perhaps, a simple mistake, but then you start noticing it everywhere. A line from a beloved movie sounds wrong, though everyone else seems convinced it has always been that way. A famous quote from history isn't what you were taught in school. A global event you distinctly remember happening at one point appears to have shifted in time. And yet, every record, every article, every mention claims your memory is false. This phenomenon has a name, the Mandela Effect. A term coined when thousands of people swore they remembered something that never officially happened. An alternate history slipping through the cracks of our reality. The deeper you dive, the stranger it gets. Scientists and researchers attempt to explain it away as collective false memories. But what if it's something more? What if these discrepancies are proof that reality isn't as stable as we believe? Imagine our universe as a vast, intricate web of possibilities, branching off in infinite directions. Every choice, every moment creates a new thread, a new reality. But what if, just occasionally, those threads intertwine? What if, instead of misremembering, some of us are recalling events from a reality we no longer inhabit? Some theories suggest we are constantly shifting between these parallel versions of the world without realizing it, tiny ripples where details don't quite match up. These anomalies could be the fingerprints of an unseen force, revealing a hidden structure to our existence, an unseen multiverse just beyond our perception. But what if the changes are more than just a glitch in memory? What if reality itself is bending beneath our feet, warping so subtly that we only notice when the familiar turns strange? You check the time on your phone, a quick glance, nothing special. But as you slip it back into your pocket, the thought lingers. How many times has the time changed without you noticing? How many times has reality shifted while you were too distracted to look? The deeper you dig into the Mandela Effect, the more unsettling the patterns become. It isn't just a few people misremembering small details. It's thousands, even millions, all recalling the same alternate version of reality. And it doesn't stop at logos, quotes, or dates. Some people report entire places that no longer exist, childhood memories of visiting towns that seem to have vanished off the map. Others swear they had conversations with people who now claim those moments never happened. Yet somehow those memories feel as real as the ground beneath their feet. What if the key isn't faulty memory at all? Some scientists theorize that quantum mechanics might hold the answer. In the microscopic world of quantum particles, reality behaves in ways that seem impossible. Particles appear in two places at once, change when observed, and seem to defy the very laws of physics. If reality at its smallest scale is fluid and unpredictable, could it be possible that larger, everyday reality is just as malleable? Perhaps our universe isn't a single, stable timeline, but a swirling ocean of probabilities, constantly shifting and overlapping. Imagine watching TV through a slightly faulty signal. Most of the time, the picture is crystal clear, but every now and then, the image flickers, jumping between channels for a fraction of a second. What if that's what we're experiencing? Brief flickers where two realities bleed into one another before snapping back into place. The Mandela Effect could be the static left behind when those channels accidentally cross. Some physicists suggest that if parallel universes exist, they might not be distant realms separated by time and space. Instead, they could be stacked right on top of ours, just a hair's breadth away, overlapping like layers of transparent film. If two layers press too closely together, details might bleed through. A memory of a different history, a name spelled another way, a moment that feels slightly off. It would explain why these shifts are so small yet so profound, why they hide in plain sight. But here's where the mystery deepens. If these overlapping realities are brushing against ours, could they be doing so on purpose? Some researchers wonder if these anomalies might be the side effects of something larger, a technological experiment perhaps, or a natural phenomenon we barely understand. Like ripples on the surface of a pond, the Mandela Effect could be the aftermath of something colossal happening beneath reality's surface. As you sit with this thought, you start to wonder, how many things have changed while you were too busy to notice? If reality is constantly shifting, how would you ever know what was real to begin with? The answer might be hidden in the static between worlds, in the flicker of a memory that feels just a little too vivid to dismiss. If we are truly brushing against parallel universes, then perhaps the most unsettling truth is not that reality is changing, but that it was never as solid as we believed. And what if the flicker is just the beginning? What if these brief anomalies are cracks in the surface of something much larger? A signal that reality itself is unraveling at the edges. You sit there, replaying moments that once felt insignificant, the way a familiar song suddenly has a different lyric, the feeling that a conversation happened twice, the nagging sense that the world around you is just slightly off-center. It isn't paranoia. It's the realization that reality might be as fluid as memory. Some researchers are beginning to wonder if consciousness itself could be the key. If reality is shaped by observation, as quantum mechanics suggests, could collective belief bend the very fabric of existence? Think of reality as wet cement, soft and malleable when touched, hardening as it goes unnoticed. When enough people believe something, could it become real? Could the Mandela Effect be proof that human consciousness is constantly reshaping the world in ways we barely understand? Consider the way dreams sometimes linger after waking, leaving a sense of having lived through another life. Could those vivid, unshakable memories be more than dreams? Some theories suggest that we might be slipping between parallel versions of ourselves while we sleep, waking up in slightly altered realities without ever noticing. And maybe those who experience the Mandela Effect are simply the ones paying attention. If parallel universes do exist, and if they are close enough to touch, it raises a chilling question. Could we ever become trapped in the wrong reality? Imagine waking up one day in a world where everything is familiar, but nothing feels quite right. The sky is the same shade of blue, but the air feels heavier. Your home is exactly as you left it, yet the energy is different, like a song played slightly off-key. If reality is shifting, who is to say we always shift back? And perhaps the most unsettling thought of all is this. What if these changes aren't random? What if something is guiding them? A force, a pattern, an intelligence beyond our comprehension. Like a hand slowly turning the dial on a radio, adjusting the frequency until we hear something we were never meant to hear, something buried in the static. The Mandela Effect isn't just a curiosity, it's a window into the unknown, a reminder that reality is far more complex and mysterious than we dare to imagine. And as you glance at the clock one last time, you can't help but wonder, has it always been ticking in this direction? What if the clock isn't ticking at all? What if time itself is another illusion, a construct as fluid and malleable as memory? You glance at your reflection in the window, and for a fleeting second, it feels like someone else is staring back. The thought is absurd. Or is it? After all, if reality can shift, why should identity remain constant? Some scientists propose that time might not flow in a straight line, but loop, fold, and ripple, much like space. If parallel realities exist, could we be slipping through different points in time without realizing it? The Mandela Effect could be more than overlapping universes. It could be a sign that the timeline itself is unstable. Think of a playlist stuck on shuffle. Songs play out of order, repeating or skipping unexpectedly. The sequence is unpredictable, yet each song feels complete when you hear it. What if our lives are playing on shuffle too? Moments you vividly remember could be echoes from another version of you, a version that lived the same life in a slightly different order. And if time is not linear, could it be possible that future events are rippling backward, altering the past as we perceive it? Some researchers speculate that causality might work both ways, with the future influencing the present just as much as the past. If so, the Mandela Effect could be the residue of a reality constantly rewriting itself to fit a new, evolving timeline. Then there are the places that seem to blink in and out of existence. Entire locations recalled by many, but recorded by none. Could these be fragments from a version of the world where those places still exist? Like old files left on a hard drive after an update, they linger in the collective consciousness, half remembered but stubbornly persistent. And what if it isn't just places? What if people can flicker too? There are stories, whispers of individuals who remember friendships that never happened, or family members who seem different, slightly altered, as if they were swapped with a nearly identical copy. These aren't memories you can explain away as dreams or confusion. They feel real because they were real somewhere. The Mandela Effect might not just be about memory or consciousness. It could be a glitch in the very code of reality, where time, space, and identity intersect. A signal that the universe isn't a static picture, but a living, breathing system, one that shifts while we're not looking. And as you glance once more at the reflection in the window, the question lingers in the back of your mind. If reality can change, how do you know you're still the same? And what if it goes even deeper? What if the Mandela Effect isn't just a symptom of shifting timelines, but evidence of something far more profound? A universe built on information rather than matter. You step back from the window, heart pounding as the thought takes root. What if reality isn't solid at all? What if it's code? Some physicists argue that the universe might function like a colossal simulation, with every particle and force governed by mathematical laws akin to computer code. If that's true, then glitches, those small, unsettling inconsistencies, could be the result of errors in the system. The Mandela Effect might not be a shift in time or space, but a ripple in the very fabric of reality, where bits of data overwrite themselves. Think about a video game that suddenly lags or a digital photo that briefly distorts before snapping back to clarity. For a moment, you see something impossible, a flicker of unreality, before the system corrects itself. What if those moments in our lives where memory and reality don't quite match are just the same kind of glitch on a grander scale? This idea opens another chilling possibility. If reality is coded, could someone be rewriting it? If a programmer can alter a game with a few lines of code, could something or someone be doing the same to our universe? The Mandela Effect could be the afterimage left when the system patches itself, a telltale sign that the reality you trust is more flexible than you ever imagined. And what about you? If reality is information, what does that make you? Consciousness might not be a byproduct of the brain, but part of the code itself, an observer as well as a participant. Some theories suggest that by simply observing reality, we collapse it into form. If that's true, then perhaps the Mandela Effect isn't happening to you. Perhaps you are helping to create it. You take a deep breath, eyes flicking once more to your reflection. It stares back, familiar yet foreign. If reality is a program, if the timeline is fluid, if memory is a fragment of something larger, then maybe the question isn't why reality changes. Maybe the question is who is holding the keyboard. But perhaps the most profound twist of all is this. What if no one is holding it? What if reality is an evolving algorithm, a self-learning system, adapting and shifting as it processes information from billions of conscious observers? In such a system, every choice you make, every thought you entertain, could ripple outward, subtly rewriting the code of existence itself. Imagine reality as an infinite ocean of possibilities, where every wave is a potential timeline crashing against the shore of the present. The Mandela Effect might be the foam left behind, the evidence of countless timelines merging and overlapping, leaving traces in the form of altered memories. And if that's true, then reality is not something you passively experience. It's something you shape. The final key idea is this. Reality is participatory. Every thought, every memory, and every moment of awareness is a brushstroke on the canvas of existence. So the next time you catch a glimpse of something that feels off, a memory that doesn't match the world around you, don't dismiss it. Ask yourself what it means. What if that flicker is a reminder that you are more than a passenger in this reality? What if you are one of its creators?